Randy and Rita with the opportunity for Nerium, my wife was working part-time for some neurosurgeons doing marketing for them, and I was a correctional officer at a maximum security prison up in Amarillo, working 5:30 p.m. to 5:30 a.m. And if any of y'all have ever worked shift work, that really sucks. And so I never got to see my family, never got to see my friends, never got to do anything because 2 of those days I was recovering from staying up all night, working with the stress of dealing with inmates. And so life was not good. We were over 2 years not paying credit cards because what happened was, and what I love, what Randy always talks about is we had a certain lifestyle when we got out of college. My wife got a really good job making over 6 figures a year. I got to pursue one of my dreams of being a golf pro and play golf for a living, and I got to do that. Well, we decided to start a family. My wife was 6 months pregnant, and they fired her. Well, the whole time we've been married, Randy's always talking about us, what is your plan B? And we're like, we're young. We don't need a plan B. What are you talking about? Our plan A is awesome. So guess what? She got fired when she was 6 months pregnant. We didn't have a plan B. We sold all our nice cars. We didn't pay credit cards for over 2 years. We borrowed so much money from them that I'm sure they lost track. And so, dang it! That was like subliminal messaging, Randy. So we really struggled. Our life was not where we wanted it to be, and so that happened. Guess what? I got to give up my dream of being a golf pro, and I went to go be an adult babysitter at a maximum security prison. And so that's not where any young couple ever needs to be. Having to borrow money from mom and dad just to put diapers on your baby and put food on the table. That's not good. So we knew something had to change, and our plan B was for me to go do what I always knew, and that was to go work harder, work more hours, work for someone else's dream, or work to keep inmates out, or keep inmates in. And so that's where we were. So Randy and Rita, they approached us and they called us, and I always asked, what if they would have said, well, they're borrowing so much money from us, they can't afford to come in this business. What if they made that determination for us? And I always like to say we weren't those people that were super successful in life, because we weren't. And so the reason we were successful with Nerium is because it had to work. If you've ever been to that point in your life where something had to happen, it had to work. And what I'm going to talk about now about clarity is Nerium is very clear about what we can do. They put out very clear instructions on what we do. So in our turmoil that we were in, life was going 1,000 different ways. We stepped into Nerium that had a clear path. They knew where they were going. They knew how to get there, and we followed instructions. We were very clear. So we had a meeting. We talk with David Bird once a month, and our last meeting, we were talking about clarity, and he gave us this formula. If you want to write it down, it's for people always ask, well, how do you keep people in, and how do you keep customers? Right? Sustainability in your business. So that was always one of my things that I really struggled with, was how are we going to continually do this? One, you have to be very clear, okay? Because clarity leads to focus, okay? And the formula goes like this: focus plus energy equals sustainability. Did everybody get that? Focus plus energy equals sustainability. So who has people maybe on their team that they love personal development, but they never show up to a party? Yeah? Who has people on their team that they show up to every party and you're like, man, if you just read this book, right? So you can't have one without the other. You can't do sustainability without having focus and energy. You can be the smartest person in the world by reading every book that's ever written, but if you don't step out and share that knowledge and actually start walking and living that knowledge, you'll never have any success in life. So you have to have focus. And where does focus come from? Clarity. Nerium is very clear about where we are. about where we're going and what we're doing. So if we stay within the system that we keep talking about, it's very clear. It's not easy, it's clear. It's the sacrifice. You have to make sacrifices sometimes. Clarity leads to focus. Focus plus energy leads to sustainability. So if you have that formula correct and you live that every day, your business will always be sustainable. It'll always keep brand partners. It'll always keep customers. It'll always keep paying you residual money. So we're going to end it with that. We're going to